Hello friends, in the recent times there's been a lot of talk about the possibility of another Great Depression hitting the United States of America and the world as a whole. I have discussed this article a little briefly before as well, and I think there is a lot to be added again, and I'm doing it one more time with a detailed description. Now, what exactly does this mean that the world is going to be hit by another Great Depression, and is it something we should be worried about? Before that, as you all know that we are running a promotion that when we reach 2000 subscribers, we'll draw one name from the list of subscribers and the winner gets $250 Costco gift certificate. The name of the winner will be announced on this channel. Just by hitting the subscribe button, your name will enter the draw. And thank you very much for the overwhelming success of all my videos. Since you are watching these videos in thousands, please press the subscribe button, friends. Your name will go into the draw, and I hope the winner is you, and wishing you all the best. Coming back to this topic, let's now discuss in this article what does this Great Depression mean and what are the consequences and how likely is it to happen. First, let's understand what the Great Depression was. Back in the 1930s, the world experienced a severe economic downturn known as the Great Depression. It was a time of widespread unemployment, poverty, and hardship for many people. Banks failed, businesses closed, and families struggled to make ends meet all across the globe. The Great Depression, which began in the 1929 and lasted through the 1930s, was the most severe economic downturn in the modern history. It was marked by a massive collapse in the stock market, widespread bank failures, high unemployment, and severe poverty. The ripple effects of this economic disaster were felt globally, affecting millions and millions of lives. Now, when people talk about a looming Great Depression today, they are referring to the fear of a similar economic catastrophe happening again. There are a few reasons why we should be concerned, and the number one is economic instability. The economy across the globe goes through ups and downs all the time, but there are signs that the current situation might be more serious. Factors like high levels of debt, fluctuations in the stock market, and uncertainty in the global trade can all contribute to economic instability. The global economy experiences natural cycles of growth and contraction. However, recent signs point to potential instability. High levels of national and consumer debt, significant fluctuations in the stock market, and uncertainty in international trades are all factors that could contribute to a severe economic downturn. The second most important point is the income inequality. The gap between the rich and the poor is widening in the US and the globe for decades now. This means that while some people are doing very well financially, millions and millions of others are struggling to make ends meet. High levels of inequality can weaken the overall economy and make it more vulnerable to crisis. Income and wealth inequality have been increasing in many parts of the world, including the United States of America. When the gap between the rich and poor becomes too wide, it can weaken the economy. Many people have less money to spend, leading to lower demand and for goods and services, which can slow down the economic growth of the world. The third most important point I see is that there are a lot of global challenges. The US economy is closely connected to the rest of the world. Events like trade disputes, political unrest, and natural disasters in other countries can have ripple effects that impact the US economy. For example, disruptions in the supply chain can lead to shortages of goods and higher prices for consumers. The interconnected nature of the global economy means that issues in one part of the world can have far-reaching effects. Trade wars, political instability, and environmental disasters can disrupt global supply chains and economic instability. For instance, the COVID-19 pandemic showed how a health crisis can quickly turn into an economic crisis affecting industries and economies worldwide. Coming back to technological disruption. Well, advances in technology have transformed industries and changed the way we work. While this can lead to innovation and growth, it can also result in job losses and economic uncertainty for those who are displaced by automation and other technological developments. Rapid technological advancements are changing the landscape of the work and industry. While technology can drive economic growth and innovation, it can also lead to job losses and economic displacement. Automation and artificial intelligence are transforming industries, and not everyone is able to adapt quickly to these changes. Now the question is, should the world be worried? While it's important to take these concerns extremely seriously, it's also essential to remember that predicting the future of the economy is incredibly complex. Many factors influence economic outcomes, and there's no crystal ball that can tell us exactly when and what will happen. What we can do is to take steps to strengthen the economy and make it more resilient. This might include policies to reduce inequality, invest in education and job training, support small businesses, and promote innovation and entrepreneurship. Ultimately, whether or not a Great Depression is looming over the United States depends on how we respond to the challenges that we face. By working together and making smart choices, we can build a more stable and prosperous future for everyone. While these concerns are valid, predicting an economic collapse of the Great Depression proportions is challenging. Economies are complex and influenced by countless variables, making precise predictions difficult. However, it's important to note that today's global financial systems are more robust and regulated compared to back in the 1930s. Governments and central banks now have more tools at their disposal to manage the economic crisis. Now friends, if you're liking this video, please smash the like button. It will ensure that you get all our videos, and YouTube will show it to more and more people like yourself. Now, to avoid a potential Great Depression, many proactive measures can be taken. Implementing economic policies that promote fair income distribution, reduce inequality, and support and economic stability. Investing in education and job training programs to help workers adapt to technological changes and new industries. Foster international cooperation to address global challenges such as trade disputes and environmental issues. And ensure strong regulatory frameworks to monitor and manage financial markets and institutions. Now, while the fear of a Great Depression is understandable, it is not a foregone conclusion. By understanding the risks that taking proactive steps, we can work towards a more stable and resilient global economy. The lessons learned from the past, combined with modern tools and strategies, can help us navigate the challenges of today and build a brighter economic future for all. Now, in the event of a Great Depression-like economic downturn, the countries most likely to suffer are the ones who have typically certain vulnerabilities in their economic, political, and social structures. Here are the key factors that can make a country particularly susceptible. Number one, countries with high levels of debt. Countries with huge dependence on exports. countries with extremely weak financial systems, political instability in some countries, limited social safety nets, dependence on foreign investments. These are all very, very important factors, and these countries could suffer the most if we were to enter a Great Depression again. Now, countries likely to suffer most are those in Latin America, Africa and parts of Asia that have high debt levels, reliance on commodity exports and very weak financial systems. For example, countries like Argentina, Brazil and South Africa could be severely impacted. Countries also heavily reliant on oil exports could face significant challenges due to plummeting oil prices and demand. Countries with high levels of external debt also struggle to service their debt amidst declining revenues and devalued currencies. Now, if a scenario akin to a Great Depression were to occur today or in 2030s, several countries would likely be disproportionately affected due to the various economic vulnerabilities. Now, last, let's discuss the impact of this Great Depression on North America, especially in Canada, if it were to happen. The resultant effects from the crash in the prices in the US stock market heavily affected Canada. Financial and economic adverse effects were experienced all over the world, with Canada bearing the high effects due to its association and proximity to the United States of America. The Great Depression continued well into the World War II, where the effects abated but never disappeared completely. The Great Depression affected the Canadian population to varying degrees. The worst hit areas happened to be the agricultural and the industrial areas. In the prairies provinces where farmers relied on wheat exportation to survive, the effects were severe. The Great Depression in the prairies was coupled up with severe natural and climatic conditions that further added to the farmers' misery. Long spells of drought, grasshopper plagues and inadequate rainfall coupled up with loss of lands due to mortgage loans too dealt a fatal blow to the prairies dwellers. As industries lost their main markets in the United States, high unemployment rates set in. It was estimated that by the year 1931, Canada gross unemployment rate rose to over 30%. Policies like high tariffs, subsidies and low government spending only served to worsen the conditions of the Canadians. Banks, underground and various industries closed due to the lack of markets for their goods. People were transformed to begging-like conditions and the governments cut down the tax rates to enable people afford all the basic needs. The government set up institutions to help the poor, needy, the sick and the impoverished. God forbid anything like that happens again, but if it were to happen, we need preparation. All we can do is to make sure that we make all the right financial decisions. Any wrong financial move and we are vulnerable to the economic conditions of the country. Make sure you buy the right properties and the right mortgages so that the perspective doesn't change in the next 10 to 15 years. If we take safe initiatives, my friends, and we protect our home, things will be fine. These are very complex financial decisions, and should you feel you need any help, feel free to call me back and we will discuss your situation and provide you with a custom solution. Thanking you to watch this video once again in full. Please subscribe to this channel, and thanks again friends for watching all my videos and making them a huge success. Looking forward to hearing from your responses very much. Call me back in confidence and we will discuss all your issues. Stay blessed, be safe, and see you in the next video with another topic. Thank you very much.